going on, everybody out there? This is Akkaiidan Azeroth with Knights of the Round Table podcast. And tonight we've got Mios and RoseKitty in the studio with me tonight. Hey, Mios, how you doing, bud?
Oh, I can't complain. How you doing?
Doing great. Hey, Rose, what are you up to?
Not too much. What about you?
You know, the other day I just had a thought hit my brain about, you know, this Friday episode that we're recording. And that thought was forget about RNG. I can't say the actual word I was thinking, but I'm sure everybody gets it.
Oh, yeah.
And
RNG
so,
can be the worst.
what do y'all think? Should we talk about just saying forget RNG, or should we move on to another topic?
I feel like RNG is something that we could go on about for a while. Mostly complaining.
Oh, definitely. I hate RNG. Well, I can't say I hate RNG because I've gotten some really good loot drops due to RNG, but at the same time, how many weeks have I gone through without getting a single damn drop?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, a little RNG is fun. Like, the occasional bit of reward through random chance can be really fun. But when that's
But
your only reward,
well, no, you're right. I mean, it's one thing to have a little bit of fun. You know, who doesn't like the excitement in a Dungeons and Dragons game of, you know, rolling that 20 or rolling that one, or just a little bit of fun to it. It's completely different entirely to be sitting there praying to RNGs is that you get the piece of gear you need so your raid will take you because your DPS isn't high enough.
exactly, and that's a real concern.
Indeed. You know, who here uses the World of Warcraft, the loot specialization tab?
Yeah.
And how often are you trying to get loot for one spec, and so you set your loot specialization to that particular spec, and then the next thing you know, you're still getting gear for your other spec, or the third spec that you're not even, like, trying to get gear for?
I've actually done that on purpose, where my arcane mage needs more crit, so I set it to fire.
The only downside I've ever had with that, and this is always how RNG gets me, and it drives me to the wall. I'm sitting there doing a raid, you know, heroic palace. I'm on my shaman, set for DPS, you know, because I've been doing, okay, I'll fill in the holy, or I'll fill in the resto stuff while we're doing it, because we've been doing normal, so it's like, okay, it's still normal, we're doing it. Do heroic. I wasn't thinking about loot specialization. First thing that drops for me is a 430 healing mace. I'm like, son of a... Ugh. Our guild has so many healers, and the best piece of item I'm probably going to get out of that entire damn raid, hammer.
Oops.
What did I do to you?
I think PvP will do it too if you're not careful. Like, it'll give you gear for your specialization if you're not paying attention.
Well, it's like you can't really set it to current specialization if you're doing half the things. It's like, oh, IQ, is this what's going to randomly change it? It's like, yes, but if I heal because I know how but don't particularly like it, that doesn't mean I want all of my gear to have the stats on it for, you know, not to mention the Azurite gear. Like, I get the fun idea they were going for. Why did they have to put it behind a D20 lock?
Exactly. You know, and they do that with every little thing. I mean, when you're out in the world and you're just out, like, grinding, mobs for gold or whatever, it's a D20 roll if you get a random purple BOE. It shouldn't be that way inside of a raid. I honestly think that if you're in a team that gets, that downs 2 or more bosses, I think everybody in the group should get at least one drop without using a bonus roll.
Well, I mean, at the very least, have it be so that if you finish the raid, depending on the level, like Raid Finder, 50-50 chance everyone getting one. Normal, 100% chance everyone in the raid gets at least one item. Heroic, everyone, when you finish it, by the time you've down the final boss on Heroic, everyone's gotten 2 pieces of gear. By the time Mythic, 3 pieces of gear. That way, it's like, I have progressed this far, I have shown that I've earned it, I can deck out my Mythic gear, so that if I want to go play the storyline with an ult, I can, which I think would be a great way to do it with what they're going to do with the Shadowland stuff. It's like, we're making it ult-friendly, but are you making the end game content like raiding ult-friendly? Because I don't know about everybody else, but I mean like 4 different characters minimum. And so it's like, okay, but I need to gear this one in case my tank is needed, this one in case my healer is needed, this one for range DPS, this one for melee DPS. It's a lot of raid time.
I got an idea. Instead of guaranteeing everyone gear, because I feel like that would flood the people's bags really quickly. What if it was something more along the lines of roll percentages will change for people that have gotten gear and people who haven't. So if people have already gotten gear, their chance of being the one to get another piece of gear drops dramatically until other people in the raid have gotten gear.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, by the time from first boss to last boss, everyone has X number of pieces of gear based on difficulty. That's what I was thinking. Like, you don't get loot on every boss. It's just 15 bosses in the raid. Everyone's gotten at least 1 piece of loot on normal. That's where my brain was thinking of it anyway. But no, I think you're right. Make it so that people actually have a chance of getting it, and maybe have the bonus rolls be something to like re-roll your stats if the RNG doesn't like you.
Bonus rolls this expansion too. Just terrible. Like, the amount of gold you get has always been terrible, but you're more likely to get the Azurite power.
Mm-hmm. One, the
Quick
fact that
question.
Oh, shoot.
What are y'all's thoughts on 2x4 farming? Where
2x4?
you know what I'm talking about?
Not remotely.
Okay, 2x4 farming. Let's say, for instance, you want to increase your chance on a mount drop. And instead of using, one raid group with 8 people, you break it down into 2 groups of 4 people. And basically what it does is the way that the loot table is set, right? Because if I'm in one group, right, and you tag something first, the opposite group tags something before somebody in my group does, and I tag it as well, it will mess up the loot table just enough to where it will increase the drop rates and make the spawns bug out just enough to where it turns into a hyper spawn situation with bombs. You know what I mean, right?
Sort of.
It basically causes what I like to call a hyper spawn. And instead of getting one mob to spawn to replace a dead one, you end up with 5 mobs spawning in to replace that one mob.
I recognize why people use it. As somebody who has been the leveler coming up after that on an ult, it drives me nuts. Especially when people were doing it in Borealis, because you're like, I'm going to RP on at level 15. Got to go running over there. Farming group had just finished up. 200 things go flying after you. You're just like, oh, God, help me. Like, another example of RNG. Sometimes the time of day just doesn't like you.
Yeah, but there's groups over there at Hook Point doing it 24/7.
I know, and it drives me nuts. If they don't do it on an RP server or get into a shard that doesn't screw RPers, I don't care. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of miss the days when if you were too OOC or too obnoxious about your RP, they removed you from the server for it. Because it was a roleplay server, not a Pornshire.
Well, a lot's changed, because I remember the days when if you went to the auction house to post an item, the opposite faction couldn't buy that item. I love those days. I can't stand now that if I put one of a top tier piece of bind on equip gear in the auction house, there's a chance that I'm gearing somebody's horde tin.
I thought you had to go to the black market some to do that. Say like the goblins.
No, we've got what's called connected auction houses. Every auction house in game, I can post an item in Stormwind at the Alliance auction house and buy it on a horde character in Orgrimmar.
Didn't realize it
Or
worked
in
that way.
Undercity. Yeah, I believe it does. I don't believe they ever changed it back.
Every auction house on a server, every auction house, either faction is now connected.
Yep, as of last expansion.
Which is why the price of so much Horde starting zone RP gear went down. I sincerely used to be able to pay for an account with 2 pieces of rare Horde gear sent over to the Alliance, and you had to go to Ratchet, and you had to get a friend to buy your auction house off the Ratchet.
I remember doing that so many times. Like, okay, make sure you're watching for the thing I'm putting up. Somebody else buys it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Mm-hmm. It's like you find it, if it gets bought because you're not paying attention, you're logging into my account and farming it for me again.
Yep.
And it really wasn't even that hard. You'd log into a new tune, mail off the starter gear to someone, do that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. No, I was thinking the kind of rare drops like the swords and things like that.
I remember when I realized that was sort of a thing, was the Blood Elf starting areas. Some of their gear actually looked halfway decent compared to some of the other starting areas.
Oh yeah. The green item bows out of that start area, top notch.
For sure.
Yeah, and their swords too, like the Kopeshi looking swords, the little sickle looking swords. Those were cool.
Yeah, their shields look pretty top notch too.
Oh, I love their shields. Go out of my way for those.
Yep.
Speaking of shields, does anyone know if they ever bothered putting in the Sindori Tower shield that you can get with? Because I've got the Heritage armor, but I couldn't find the shield. I would love that Tower shield because it's freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, the Spellbreaker Tower shield. I think it's supposed to be. I think the shields pop up for certain classes. I'm not sure though. I think the Nightborn have one that's a big shield too.
I don't know. I may have to do something other than just get the Heritage armor unlocked because I haven't tuned any of them.
I think it depends on the class. I'm assuming if you were looking for your shield, you were on a class that could use shields anyway. But
yeah, maybe they hit it the same way they did the Lightforge stuff. You have to unlock something else to get it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool that they actually put Spellbreaker armor in the game. Like, holy hell, that's cool.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And the best part is the pants look kind of garbage because it's meant to have the robe, but you can actually do a shirt and pants.
Huh.
So how many people here remember the purple item lightsaber looking sword?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they totally screwed everybody that sells those at the auction house by adding the gnome start area quest that offers it as a reward.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a two-handed sword. It's the very lightsaber. To get the one-handed blue one, you have to go to Slave Pens and kill the second boss on Heroic. It's a caster sword. There is still the orange blade beam that people put on the auction house that sells for stupid amounts.
Yeah, it's always been a stupid amount on that one. I remember back during Kata, it was 200K.
Mm-hmm.
In today's currency, it would be worth over $1 million.
T-Boo's the new blade that was T-Boo's looks really good. I want it.
Yeah, I like T-Boos.
There are a couple of really gorgeous ones they've had in this game. Oh, they up-res T-Boo.
That's what I'm saying. They up-resed it. It looks good.
I didn't see the up-res on it. That is gorgeous. 200,000 still, but I mean, gorgeous blade. I'm waiting to see the first gnome RPing as Kylo Ren right now. I'm calling it.
Right. Because the world needs more angsty teenagers.
Oh, yes, absolutely in dire need of them.
Short supply. It's always running out of those.
See, I still often wonder if people didn't have more kids just back when it was legal to, actually thump your kids when they need it. It's like, why'd you have more? Well, because I can actually discipline them, so when they misbehave and I need to hit them, well, they behave again. Anyway, back to the RNG silliness.
Don't even get me started.
All right, you know how every once in a while I like to read a comment from the forums over at battle.net. I'm reading one right now, and I'll go ahead and give it a direct quote. It's from a level 90 undead warlock. I'm not going to give his name or guild name or anything like that. But if he's listening, he'll know who I'm talking about. So, quote unquote, I really see a lot of RNG posts. I don't quite understand them. I love Destiny 1, where the engrams were completely random and RNG based. I think WoW needs to take away RNG, but add more of it. More RNG means more chances for fat loot, which we all want. I think some of the RNG drops should be downgraded and some upgraded to keep us on edge. Who's with me? Quote unquote.
Well, it's like,
I'm not with him on that.
I don't agree either. I do think that there does need to be changes made, though. Like half the problem with it is it seems like the loot tables for the RNG have priorities all sorts of messed up. So that's why people hate it, because you get bracers like 10 times in a row.
Yeah, and it really does. And it's like, if it at least accounted for the gear you needed, like if it could do a quick run of your item level and go, oh, okay, this is what your gear, if it could do something like that.
Higher priority on this or that.
Yeah, exactly. At least a little bit of love toward a stat you might need.
I can totally see that. And if most of your gear is then like at close to or at level with the drop, then make it one of the Azurite pieces so you have more chances at the random abilities that you might need.
Yeah, that would totally work.
The RNG that I hate the most is the RNG that has to do with boss abilities and raids. Because you mix that with stuff that's on timers, and some of the RNG makes it just flat out impossible to get your kill.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give an example. You go up against Queen Azara in the current raid on heroic mode, and when they do the bubbles, when 3 people get bubbled, you have them run over and stack up, and that's on a timer, okay? And you also have the corals that come up sometimes during a few of the briny bubbles, right? Mm-hmm. And so the coral comes up and throws somebody at one of the 3 people in the air that are running to stack with the other people. And by getting thrown up in the air, now you've got, instead of 3 people that were supposed to be stacked up to get bubbled together so everybody could break them out, now you've got all of your range and probably some of your melee stuck in briny bubbles while the boss's main shield is down. And the boss pretty much is free to just kill the entire group. Some of the worst RNG possibilities possible. Because if something else is on a timer, there shouldn't be RNG to decide where something goes that could potentially just wipe out the whole team.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Absolutely.
Whether the raid lives or dies should not be on a random chance.
No.
Not when it's a mechanic, anyway.
Yeah. I don't think that the RNG should have anything to do with boss mechanics, because I don't think it should be random at all.
That just frustrates people.
Yep. And Blizzard is getting very, very good at frustrating people. It's like they're almost designing their raids to just be as frustrating as possible. Of course, on in their defense, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. Last expansion, every single last boss in a raid, AOTC had went out within 24 hours of release. This expansion, not yet.
Dang.
And I think it's because they added more RNG to the boss encounters.
Probably. I mean, it's really heavily put into it too. That's the part that kills, is that everything seems to be hanging on it to the point where, you know, you got somebody with a bit of bad luck, and you can spend an entire night on the same fight.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's draining and demoralizing because it's like, okay, this isn't a matter of mechanics anymore. This isn't a matter of, are we a good team? This is a matter of, could we be more coordinated? It's not on the players if it's an RNG proc at that point. It's just, okay, we're screwed at this point. Let's keep trying, and you know, it feels like it can be demoralizing to players who, you know, just have to end up be really drawing the net ones, you know.
You know what I think would be hilarious for Blizzard to do? Add random potions that when you craft them, it's all on RNG. You know, basically when you craft certain potions, you'll get the one potion that you're trying to get, and it could possibly proc into like a number of different potions. You know what I mean? Instead of it always procking to that same one.
Well, what if the potion it made itself was like a mysterious potion?
Exactly.
So like this could be a potion that'll like it'll increase your primary stat by like a metric fuck ton, or you just turned into a fish.
Or you turn into a fish that's out of water.
Exactly.
with a breath bar.
Imagine that as a battle potion. It's like, I'm either going to be awesome or this is going to suck.
Yep.
See, now that would be an interesting way to augment the game, especially if you kept the potions in that didn't, you know, this is your normal battle potion, or if you really want to test your luck, here's a battle potion that has, you know, a chance to making you 10 times more powerful or one-shotting yourself.
Yep. And it would be funny to see how many people would use that during raids.
Oh, I bet people actually would use it too. Like, if like, it would have to be worth the risk, though. Like, a battle potion that gives like twice the normal stats of other battle potions, but you legitimately have a risk of just screwing yourself up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
it could even have fun effects too. Like, I don't know. Like, suddenly you can fly now in the raid. That's not going to really affect your spells very much, or help you dodge mechanics all that differently. But it's something different.
You know, have it either increase your crit strike by, you know, an ungodly amount, or lower your chance to dodge by 100%.
I'll see, that'd be fun. See, that's what I want to see, is if we're going to RNG some things. Like, let's have a return of fun stats, like multi-strike. Like, maybe this mystery potion gives you, like, a chance to double tap all of your abilities for free.
Yeah, something that's actually playing to your choice, not playing to, are you just going to get lucky about it?
Yeah. Or how about this? You roll up a new character, and instead of deciding what continent you want to level up to 10 levels lower than next level, it's automatically chosen by RNG for you.
Considering what they've done at BlizzCon, I feel like you could just roll that yourself.
Yeah.
Where am I going today?
I'm kind of actually looking forward to how they changed up the leveling style, because that honestly sounds like a great deal of fun. Actually getting to be, you know...
I do like a lot of the changes they've been making. It seems like they've been slowly trying to, like, make some tweaks, and then seeing how we react. I'm like, oh, okay, they like that. Making a few more tweaks, like, okay, oh yeah, they like them too. Let's keep going.
Shocking. When you listen to your audience, things go better.
And it
Yep.
feels like they're trying to do that again, which I definitely respect them for. It seems like they're trying to pay attention a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for everybody out there, thank you so much for listening. Remember to hit that like button. Leave us a comment in the comment section down below, and one of us will respond to you. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that bell icon to turn those notifications on. That way, there when we upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Y'all come again now.